We've got a lot of people very interested in what we have to say today, and I no doubt we have a lot of cool, important things, and kind of our future mapped out here. We're going to give everybody a peek into in what we have planned, and so we'd like to welcome everybody here. I will be co-hosting this webinar with Pawel Rajszel, who is our CEO. Is that your CEO, president? What is it? Founder? We're both founders. I don't know. However you want to
It's
however you
good.
want to couch that. Founders of our particular companies, and we're just really excited to be here today and to be able to go through all this stuff with you. So to start off with, we wanted to welcome everybody first of all, and this will be recorded. You can get this afterwards, so no sweat if you don't catch something the first time. That will be fine. We will also have a question and answer period at the last time we did this. It was very crazy. We answered questions for quite a while. More than welcome to stay here and get that all done for you. So those are the biggest things. I don't want you to wait for a bit here to get through some of this so that it can flow. A lot of this webinar will be a presentation, and the last we'll do some demos and answer some questions and stuff like that. So that's kind of how we'll do it here. So the first thing is how did we get here, right? Well, we talked about this a little bit on the cruise. We thought we would revisit this a little bit. It's been a crazy 4 or 5 years here in our industry where we have had outside money come in from outside the flooring industry and begin to buy up all of the tech within the industry, right? And that tech was consolidated under primarily one company. So 4 or 5 of the biggest tech companies in the industry were all purchased by one company, and that's happened over time over the last, I would say starting 2001. I can't remember when RFMS was acquired, but that was one of the first. Rollmaster too. So we've had a consolidation of our competitors and a lot of the tech in the industry here. And back a couple of years ago, we had our users conference in Zion National Park, and it was just so happening that right around that time, 2 or 3 major consolidations happened. And so I guess it was kind of top of mind for all of us around there. And it just so happened that Brandon, who's in this picture right here, who's vice president of sales for Roomvo, was coming out to our users conferences one first times, and he always had wanted to come to one of our users conferences, and we had started more of a closer partnership, and so he was coming, and he invited Pawel to come with him. It wasn't too far ahead of time, but the other parts of this were the consolidations that were kind of heating up and causing us to think a little bit more about what was happening, right? So all this was kind of coming together, and we stayed after our users conference and toured southern Utah and some of the national parks there for a little while, and we happened to all be together in a car for a while. I think it just started to happen, and I think it was just providence, right? That we were all kind of in the same place at the same time. Kind of things were going on to make us think about this a little bit more, because truthfully, neither of us, were really thinking about this type of a merger. But, um, I think we got to know each other really well. You spend 2 or 3 days locked up in a car, you have to talk about stuff. And I think it really was providence that we kind of ended up there at that time while we were thinking about these kinds of things and where the where the industry was. And both of us were very bought into our customer base and our employees, and it was a little bit scary about you know what was going on around us. And so I think because of that, we started talking about maybe a possibility of joining forces in a closer way, right? What really happened is a couple weeks later, I kind of threw it out, hey, have you ever thought about teaming up a little bit closer? And a couple of weeks later, Pawel called me back. And from there, we started down this path. And as he was saying right here, look, both of us could have sold out. We were both offered, you know, money that was not even realistic money, right? Because it's not really what we were worth. It was just to take us out of the market, basically, and make it so that we couldn't compete. And so that would have been a lot easier, right? We wouldn't have had to do anything. We could have just rode off, did our own thing. But here we both down deep knew that was not the right thing to do, and that would kill our customers and make the industry go into a really bad position. And since we've done this, everybody has been very well accepted by the manufacturers and our customers. I've had a lot of people just thank us for not selling out. So, and I have extreme trust that now that we've done this merger, and really the control of the company is on the Roomvo side for Pawel, even though we kind of combined together. We had 50 customers. Roomvo had 250, or I mean, employees, and Roomvo had 250. So now we're well over 300. We're still hiring a lot right now, and so that number is growing a lot right now. I think we're well over 300 now. So it's pretty viable, big company, and we have a really bright future together. Anything you wanted to add to that, Pavel? Like I don't know, is we got married, right? I guess we got married. We did date for a little while, and then so there we go. And so we did end up getting married in a sense, right? We did date for a couple of years, and we did this deal in a way where neither of us had to incur any debt, and Roomvo is privately held. We don't have to bow down to any investors. We can do what's right, not what some investors are commanding that we do. So we're in a really good spot to take this thing forward. We're growing. We have the resources, and it's just we're in a really good position to go forward. Anything you want to add to that? You want to correct me on any of that? Am I right?
No corrections needed. I think we shared a common concern about what's happening in the industry, because with the investment dollars that were going into the industry, what typically happens with private equity is they'll end up consolidating a bunch of these companies, as they're doing in flooring. And then they do things like raise prices, cut costs that impacts the service levels. They cut down on innovation, and they just try to squeeze as much money out of the businesses as possible, which doesn't end up being a good thing for consumers, for customers. And we didn't want that to happen to the flooring industry. So we shared a common vision there. We learned that we had very similar cultural values and great teams that if they came together, we'd be able to accomplish even better things than we'd be able to do on our own. And so we're excited to tell you guys about a lot of the stuff that we have had in the oven, so to speak, for the past year. But yeah, this is a nice picture and snapshot of us talking about the future there.
That's overlooking Salt Lake. That's what, if any of you are curious, it's one of the viewpoints out into the Salt Lake Valley there. So
why don't I talk a little bit about what we're about at Roomvo, in case folks don't know. We are primarily known as a visualizer, and we've had significant success in the past few years. At this point, we've got millions of consumers that are using Roomvo each and every single month. Very proud of that, and also very proud of a lot of the flooring dealers in North America using Roomvo. And our products at this point, we've got over 7,000 flooring retailers across the country that use Roomvo, and that includes hundreds of brands as well. So we've got a lot of product data from them, a lot of support from the industry, and touching many folks in the industry one way or another. Lots of people at the company as well, as Chad mentioned, through joining forces and through a lot of hiring we've also done since joining forces. We have well over 300 people at the company today that are all working hard to make all these software solutions for you folks. And very proud that we've also won several awards along the way. One in particular I'll highlight is that we've been deemed one of the fastest growing tech companies in the world by Deloitte. Deloitte puts on this list of the fastest growing tech companies in the world. And we've been on that list not once, not twice, not 3 times, but actually 4 years in a row. And I can tell you that no other company that I'm aware of in the flooring industry has been on that list even a single time. So we're very proud of that. And I think that's a testament to the level of innovation and the value that we provide to the industry. Another award that we are very proud of is that FC News puts up this award of excellence. And particularly in the category of technology, they ask the industry, they ask all of you, they ask dealers to vote on which tech company you prefer. And we are very proud to have eclipsed, in the words of FC News, we've eclipsed the combined totals of many other competitors in the industry. So very proud of that, because that is actually based on votes that come directly from our customers. So lots of support from our customers, which we're incredibly proud of. But as I mentioned before, we've been primarily known as a visualization company because of Roomvo, our visualizer. But not many people actually know that over the past couple of years, we have branched out significantly into tools outside of visualization. So at this point, I hope we can be known as much more than just a visualizer. So in case it's news to you guys, then I can outline just a few of the things that we do outside of visualization. We make websites that are very affordable, modern, easy to use. We do digital advertising as well, so we can help you get more leads at a very cost-effective rate. We do SEO consulting. We do social media management. We also have a cutting-edge AI chatbot that can help you respond to inquiries on your website or inquiries from your sales reps. And so that's all online, but we also have a lot of capabilities that we offer in store, in your showrooms. So things like being able to take payments, credit card payments, merchant payment processing, being able to set up QR codes within your showroom so that your showroom is more engaging. We do electronic showroom tags as well, so a very cost-effective way to have digital displays within your showroom. And we also have the Roomvo Kiosk, which allows you to have a very engaging experience within the showroom and do that visualization and browsing the product catalogs all within a nice big touch screen in your showroom. So that experience inside the showroom can be next level. And then, of course, there's a lot of these back office capabilities that we now have. And together with joining forces with QFloors, we've obviously got the QFloors product suite. But also we have recently launched a Roomvo CRM, so a CRM capability to the industry. We do sample management. We also have things like accounting expertise, accounting consulting. So if you need help on some complex issues that you might be dealing with, we can help you with that as well. So all in all, over the past couple of years, we've been very busy. We've been deploying a lot of resources and investments into the industry, into these products. And we have put together this kind of one-stop shop for all your digital needs. And of course, we are not stopping here. We're continuing to invest heavily. And I want to talk about the cruise that we went on about a month and a half ago. It was our 25th anniversary with QFloors. And so as a way to celebrate that, we did our users conference on a cruise, which was an Alaskan cruise. And we were able to meet a lot of our customers there and had incredible conversations. It's always great to meet customers and get to hear their feedback. And we learned a lot through those conversations. And the reason why that's all important is because it really helps us shape the roadmap. It helps us decide what products, what features, what capabilities you guys want us to develop. And so that was incredibly valuable. And as time goes on, I hope I can meet many more of you. So I know there are well over 200 people on the webinar here. So as we go to the additional conferences and shows over the next few months, I hope I can meet many more of you and hear more of your feedback. But speaking of the feedback, we've been putting together this kind of product roadmap based on all the feedback and things that we've learned. And we're excited to share that vision with you here and tell you about the newest version of QFloors. And for that, we're releasing a new version of QFloors, and we have this new vision for QFloors, which is basically simplified as follows. We want you to have this single unified system where any changes that you make in any piece of the system gets reflected everywhere else. So let's say you discontinue a product in QFloors, that gets automatically propagated to the kiosk and your website, and all your sales reps, if they're logging into the CRM, they would all see that as well. Or if an RSA of yours is making a certain order on their phone and putting that into the CRM, that gets reflected in QFloors, that gets reflected in the CRM. Everything is unified and one single easy integrated system. Having touched on that, there's full mobility, so you can use the system and access it from anywhere and from any device, and all of that using the most cutting edge technology. Obviously artificial intelligence has been kind of a buzzword in the past couple of years and has been picking up a lot of steam, and for good reasons. We want to incorporate AI into a lot of additional workflows for you so that your work is a lot easier and so that your businesses are even more efficient. And the cool thing about what we do here is that it's not just about flooring. On the visualization side, we're already able to help you visualize not only floors, but also countertops, tile, wall paint, wall art, adding rugs. So we've got this capability to help you sell more than just flooring. And I know many of you are entertaining selling more than just flooring as you're looking to grow your businesses. So we want to be able to support that as well on the ERP side, on the back office side, and in your showrooms as well. And so you're looking at this fully integrated system that helps you sell entire rooms rather than just flooring, if that is your option to do so. So with that, we've been really busy over the past year here. And I'd like to introduce you to QFX. QFX is short for QFloors version 10, so X being 10, QFloors being QF, so QFX. I want to stress that this is not the old version of QFloors. This is nothing like what you've seen before. A year ago, Chad and QFloors were on a very different path. But when we joined forces, we kind of took a look at things, and we were really excited about what we could do after bringing additional resources to the table and bringing brilliant people together. And the team came up with some really great ideas. But we weren't sure if we could actually do it all technically.
That is true.
There were various risks.
I was scared. I was skeptical, right?
So Chad and I were both skeptical, actually. We were really concerned that we weren't going to be able to do what our teams wanted to do. I mean, they were great ideas, but they had a lot of risks. And yeah, frankly, Chad and I were quite concerned. But we invested a lot, and maybe worth noting, we didn't really have to make these investments, but we wanted to make these investments because we wanted to make this work. And it took us about a year to create this new version of QFloors. So we've been working a while here, and our combined teams and the combined engineers, I think they did a brilliant job here. But if we use like a car analogy, we've kind of replaced the engine, we've replaced the transmission, we've given this a new paint job, as you'll see in when Chad demos some of the new capabilities to you. But we're really thrilled with the results here. And I think we have brilliant engineers and developers who've really pulled this off. And so again, this is not the old QFloors. This is QFloors version 10, QFX. We thought it was special enough to name it as such. And so there's a lot of advantages here. I want to highlight some of the key ones. QFX is entirely in the cloud. And it's not just any cloud. It's actually built off of Microsoft's Azure cloud infrastructure, which is enterprise-grade cloud infrastructure. And what I mean by enterprise-grade is that even Fortune 500 companies are using this cloud infrastructure. So this is meant to be really advanced and capable and cutting edge. And what's really appealing about this is that this means the best security, the fastest speeds, and the most reliability. This is really enterprise grade. And we've moved over everything to that cloud platform so that you can benefit from those capabilities in the cloud. Obviously, we've got a lot of new features. We've got an enhanced user interface and look and feel that we're excited to show you, and Chad will show you more soon. And we're also able to integrate with this new cloud platform. We're able to actually integrate a lot of the Roomvo products that we have into this over time. So things like being able to connect to Roomvo websites, to the Roomvo kiosks, to the Roomvo CRM. All of these capabilities are now accessible together on the same platform. And speaking of the platform, all of the future updates are going to be built off of this platform. And I'm really excited about those because what we also decided to do here is we decided to move all of the QPro capabilities into this QFX environment. We didn't want it outside of the Roomvo environment. We wanted everything to be connected together under one roof. And we're going to be adding these QPro-like features into QFX piece by piece. And that has a lot of advantages. So just to name a few, there's no migration that's required here. Usually when a company comes out with a new software platform, you got to spend a lot of time on moving over the systems. It can be painful. It's prone to a lot of errors and risk. And based on the user conference that we went to in Alaska, we heard from our customers they don't like that. And maybe no surprise there. You probably wouldn't want that either. But so with this new platform, we're able to do that without these difficult migrations. It also means no new software to learn. This is the QFloors software that you're already used to and have been trained on. And that was also something that was emphasized at the user conference, is that you don't want to learn new software, and that's understandable. So you don't need to learn new software here. And as we roll out new features and new capabilities, these are rolled out incrementally, and they're rolled out without having to learn new software or having to go through these migrations, which can sometimes actually take years. So you get these new features and new capabilities right away. In fact, every time you log into QFX, you're actually going to have the newest version of QFX, and everything is going to be fully up to date with all the newest features. With all of this on the same platform now, we can actually support you better and support the system better, because all of this is going to be under one system rather than split between two systems. So really big advantages there. And ultimately, we'll have a better product and faster development that happens on the platform as well.
We already have more resources, right, that are going towards us. We're able to bring more resources in that we're using in other places. And I would also say that that one of the other key things about this is that all of our users will get those features at the same time, where before it was going to be the small to medium-sized dealers that were getting all the QPro features. And the bigger companies and people are using all of the features, we're going to have to wait longer. In this concept and in this theory, everybody will get all the availability to all the features at the same time, right? Big, small, medium, it doesn't matter.
And this should all be, I want to emphasize no migrations, not having to retrain yourself or your staff. These are really big advantages in and of themselves. And so ultimately, we've got this better long-term path for the whole system with a lot of these benefits and a lot less downside for you. So very excited about that. And actually, as we're launching QFX, we're already launching with additional new features and new capabilities, which Chad is going to show here in a moment. But just to outline some of the things that we're excited to show right here is QFX is actually much faster, in some cases up to 90% faster, with various loading times. There's a enhanced look and feel. It's not completely different, so you'll still be familiar with it, and you'll be very adept at getting your way around it, but it's not so different that you need to be retrained. It's actually, it just looks slicker and more modern. And in particular, as part of that, we're also releasing a dark mode feature, which I like to call easier on the eyes mode. This is especially valuable for those of you who are using QFloors for more than an hour a day. It's just much easier on the eyes. I actually really like this new feature. Additional features, there's the search is actually a lot more powerful. It uses the fuzzy search logic, so it's a lot easier to find things in the product catalog. I know many of you have talked about being able to scroll on certain screens, and so we've introduced the ability to do that. And automatic updates, I already mentioned that or touched on that previously, but just to reemphasize this, you will, every time you log into QFX, you will have the newest version of things. You will never have to download a new version of QFloors again. And you'll always have the newest version. You'll always have the latest features. You'll always have the latest bug fixes. It's just so much easier to maintain and use. So with that, I think it's a good time to have Chad show you some of those new features. And so with that, I am going to stop sharing my screen and let Chad take over.
For people that are on our cloud right now on QCloud, we're in the process of converting people over to QFX right now. Our old clouds will all go away. They're not going to be around anymore. As Pawel said, there's a lot of advantages to coming over here and having our systems all in the same place. To date, we have almost 200 companies that are already using QFX. So there's some of our early adopters there. And when we're doing this, the older way to access our old cloud, remember there was that little blue icon, these little blue icons like this that you clicked on. Those will be going away, and we're going to be using what's called Windows App, okay? So this is all the newest Windows stuff that people are using. Now, what I want you to do, the people that are currently on QFX today, there is a newer version that's coming out. And so I'm going to be talking about the newer version. The older or the current version that's out there right now, it's taking still about 30 to 40 seconds for people to log in, which is about the same as our old QCloud or the ones that were out there. So it was similar in the login times. If you take out your phone, you'll be able and put your timer on, you'd be able to look at that. In the new one, if anybody wants to bring out their phone and take a look at this one, this EA that we have right here means early adopters. So this is one that not very many people are on, but it's a version that people will be going to here really quick in the next couple of weeks. You'll notice that, it came up on my other screen over here. All right, so if you click on here, you'll see how much quicker it comes up to the login screen, right? Like It's, I was timing it. Maybe some of the bigger databases are maybe more like 15 seconds, but it is significantly faster to log in. So all of you people that are on the 200 companies that are on QFX today, expect the login times to go a lot faster. Okay. And you'll notice the log out times are extremely faster too. If I hit the close button right here, and I'm doing this, it's done, it's closed, it's out. There's no more black screens coming up. So for everybody that's currently on QCloud, I think that you see the major improvement, that I'm not very scared to go in and out of here right now because of how fast I can get in and out. So those speed improvements are really, really big. Now, most of you should expect to see this version coming out with this speed improvement in the next week and a half. It won't be this next week, but the week after is when we have planned to start moving people onto that version. So that was the first thing on speed improvements, right? Um, Pavel mentioned a dark mode that we have coming up here. So under our users preferences, and by the way, everything that I mentioned right now, most of you will be getting this next week that are already on QFX. So we have a version coming out on Monday with these features, and then the next week will be the speed enhancement features, right? So that's our path for where these things are coming. So if I come down to preferences and go to employee preference right here, you'll see that there's this color button now that says dark theme, right? It says you need to restart, and since it starts and restarts really fast now, I'm not scared to do that, like maybe I was before, where it took a little bit longer. And now you can see the dark part of this coming up.
By the way, Chad, looks like lots of questions and accolades for dark mode in the
All right, here's your
question.
dark mode. Yeah. How do you like that, baby? Take that. So we know that a lot of people will, it's kind of hard on the eyes with the other things. So thank you for being patient with us to come up. But I think this will be something that it will be a lot easier for a lot of you that are spending a lot of time. So yeah, thank you for your patience, and thank you for helping us get to this point. So, like I said, this coming Monday, Tuesday, anybody that's on QFX will have dark mode. Okay. The other thing about this, if I had a sales order that was long enough, I can't have one, but you can see how responsive this is. On the right hand side, if you have a sales order that's really long, my screen's big here, you can actually use your mouse button to scroll up and down on the orders. I was using somebody else's. Oh, there you go. You can see that right there. So I'm using my mouse wheel to be able to scroll up and down here now on this, right? So that's another added feature. One that I won't be able to show you today because I didn't want to grab somebody's database with a lot of confidential information in it. But this list right here, and like people are even commenting like our gone list, which is usually massive in size, those lists load immediately now. So you can come down here and do all dates and stuff like that. And you're not going to get that little box that pops up saying, hey, you've got a very long list. We've done away with that. So that loading big lists in here are now instantaneous. I think I was on a database that had 300 sales orders and I was trying to load it. There is a limit to that, like 60,000, but most of you don't even have 60,000 sales order in your whole system. So you can load your sales orders all at one time. Your gone list over here will load very quickly, which I know a lot of you have, are waiting on that a lot. So your stock lists, all those things will load immediately now. So that's another enhanced thing, right? There is the other part here where you're looking up new products. So if I'm on here and I'm trying to put a new product in, right? I'm in the style box here right now. I can start typing and you will see that it can find things that are not at the very start of the field. So if I had like sofa, right? You can see where I'm typing in sofa right here. Sofa is at the back of the name, but it's finding it. So you don't have to know anymore what the actual style starts with. Like in the past, you would have to know Bakersfield, right? But here I can type in any part of the name. A358 was the other part there, right? A358. I can type it in and it's going to find it in the middle of the name. So enhanced finding of things is also in here. Okay. So, I mean, it's those kind of things that we've improved on. There's some other things that we're going to be getting to. But you can see the look and the feel. It's more responsive. We've updated the speed. Like I said, and like Pawel said, this is not just an upgrade of QFloors. It's actually we've enhanced a lot of things, even what's underneath here, to make all of this possible and to make QFloors work in this environment like this. So it's only going to be get better from here. We'll be able to spend a lot more time and resources and adding things into here. There's other things in here, but there and a lot of bug fixes are in here and stuff like that. But those are the main things. We have things that we will train you on. There's a button here that um, is the pay now button, and it's a lot more advanced in the way that it does some things. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. It basically has the same functionality as before, but we're doing things in a better way. So I will point out the well, here now it's gonna come up. So this is be like if you're gonna send a request for payment. Before this window only didn't have the sales orders attached. So now you can click on here and the sales orders will be attached to the payment requests and stuff like that. So I'm on a demo version here, so I don't know if I've got the right thing loaded. All right. So anyway, I think now it's going to do this. You can see that it's kind of got a new viewer on here for our Q reporter, sending these things out and stuff. So there are some enhancements that you will see. Those of you that are already using it will know about that, but basically it's just a different way of doing some of the things that we're already doing. But I just wanted to show you some of these cool new things that we have going. We also have some things that are coming up soon, right? And so let me see here. So let me just tell you about some of the things that we have coming up. Here are some of the things that are on the docket to come out very soon. We have an e-signature feature that will be coming out. Basically, any of you that are using DocuSign or things like that to do electronic signatures, this is our top priority. Well, QFX getting it out and going was our top priority. We're pretty much there now. We're just fixing little bugs, but e-signatures, Q signatures, those will be coming. We're going to have enhanced mobility here where, well, this auto-populate, let me just talk about that. That's talking about like the address lines and stuff like that into QFloors, where if you start typing an address, we'll be connected to an API where it will automatically verify the addresses that are coming into there. And so there will be some auto-populate type features that we'll be working on. Enhanced mobility, I think one of the first things that you will see in the QPro features that are coming over into QFX would be being able to see a sales order on a phone in a phone format. So we're working on that right now. We're also working on a new and improved Measure Square interface to QFloors, where Measure Square will be able to read our product catalog directly. And so we're working on those two things, which are more QPro type features that are coming over into QFX. So that's an example right now of a couple of the QPro features that we're bringing over right now, and the ones that are most popular that people were asking for. The SMS proposal. So right now we can email QFloors proposals to people with the payment stuff on there, requests. We're also going to add SMS options into there. Um, there'll be more Google Map integrations for installers and things like that. Roomvo CRM will also be more highly integrated into QFloors. We're working on those integrations right now to where you'll be able to start proposals in the CRM, and then those will come down into QFloors, and then they will be able to be seen over in the CRM too. So all those things will be integrated together. So that's the Roomvo CRM. The sites, obviously, our product catalogs will start to become more integrated together so that when you make changes in QFloors, they'll be propagated through sites, through the visualization and all other places. We are replacing our Q reporter. So that screen that you just saw pop up in QFloors, and people that have been using QFloors for a long time know what Q reporter is. Our reporting screen is, we're in the process of replacing that into a better experience for our customers and for your customers. We know that that it will give us more flexibility in sending out better formatted reports and stuff like that. So we're working on replacing our Q Reporter product, which has been awesome. It's been in place for 20 years, but it's time. This is kind of all has to do with the engine and the transmission replacements. Those Q Tools products have been there for so long. We're in the process of replacing the Q Tools stuff, the document manager stuff. All those things will be replaced in the near future. Being able to move sales order lines, right? So, and then AI capabilities. So this is one of the features which is another QPro feature that will be coming over into QFloors sooner than later. And that will be, we will be focused on being able to move the lines up and down, delete lines, insert lines, being able to make it more flexible in this area. So as we're moving down our priorities list here, we know that at the users conference, that was one of the highest requested things, was the ability to move lines. And one of the things that people were looking forward to in our QPro product, well, we think we can bring it over here, and we can do it in a fairly short time frame. Let me just say it that way. And you can see most of these things are kind of in the order that we would do them on the screen I was just showing you right here.
Yeah, and I think worth noting that these are just kind of some of the improvements we have slated over the next few weeks and months ahead. So these are coming soon. One that I'm particularly excited about is starting to incorporate some AI capabilities into QFloors, because at Roomvo, we've actually been using AI for over a decade now. And before it was cool. So we would love to find ways to make things easier for you guys and make your businesses more efficient with the use of AI. And so we're thinking about incorporating some of those in as we start next year as well. Yeah, so these are just some of the things that we're excited about and that are going to be incorporated into QFX in the coming months. I see a lot of questions, Chad, about when can I get this? How do I get this? What's the next step?
So yeah, let's talk to you about our strategy for rolling this out, right? Pawel talked about, transitioning to systems. Well, this new QFX, it's not something, and we couldn't do this before with our other clouds. It's not something where you just wave a wand and everybody all of a sudden have it. So we have a very strategic way of rolling this out to our customers. Strategy number one was to get all of our QCloud 2 customers over onto QFX, because that environment would be going away very soon. And so we're pretty much there. Almost all QCloud 2 users will have been or will be converted within the next week or so. Then we have QCloud 1. We have 300 companies on QCloud 1. They will be next to get QFX, and that will probably round us out towards the end of this year for us getting QCloud 1 people onto here. And then we will make it available to our on-prem, or that would be on-site, or people that have their own servers. Then they would be given the next priority. So we have our cloud customers that are first because we've got to get onto these newer technologies. Microsoft is doing away with some of the older technologies on our older clouds. And so we've got to prioritize them first, but that's the strategy. So anybody that has their own server or is on-prem, they would be coming probably after the first of this year, first quarter 2026. So that answers that. So I guess we'll go down through these questions. Is that the plan here? There's only what, 20? Oh, that's not bad. I'm sure there will be more as we come along. Start at the top.
They're pouring in. They're pouring all in.
Oh, they're talking about their touchscreen visualizer, which you're probably, let's see, with the changes coming, how will the updates upgradability of our touchscreen visualizer? What's going to be for that? It seems the computing power of the current generation will need to be more robust.
Brent, if you're talking about the Roomvo kiosk,
Yes,
I
the
can tell
kiosk.
you that over time, all the Roomvo capabilities are going to be plugged into and interconnected with and integrated with QFloors and QFX in particular. So as you make a change in QFX, then that'll be propagated over to the Roomvo kiosk, and you don't need to do anything. And that'll work even with the platform it's on now. So if you're referring to your Roomvo kiosk with the touchscreen visualizer, then that'll all happen behind the scenes automatically. And if you're not talking about the Roomvo kiosk, then we might need you to tell us a bit more details about your question.
How do you get the desktop version? We talked about that. That'll be after the first of the year. I guess I can just reiterate this right here. The future is QFX. The desktop version is running on a version of QFloors right now that has an engine that's 20 years old. And it's not a matter of just replacing the spark plugs or the doing a valve job on the engine. That we did a full engine replace on QFloors, and so the future is with QFX, and eventually the desktop users will need to consider moving in that way.
We're also in progress of adding wings and some super thrusters on the back so that you can start flying.
So I see some suggestions about some features, additional features. We're not gonna, I'll just say this right now, we don't have time to be able to discuss all those additional features here. We did a lot of that at the users conference, but we have very limited time in this webinar. I'm more than happy to discuss that with people on the side though, so that would be more of a side conversation. So
The
Chad
folks who are
mentioned,
asking about dark mode here, Chad, again, this is going to be available in a week in
no, dark
QFX.
mode will be available actually starting Monday or Tuesday. Half of our customers probably Monday, the other half Tuesday.
And
So
that's in QFX under
that's in
the
QFX.
employee preferences.
Yep, employee preferences. Yeah, so that if you have questions about how to get there, it's in this recorded. I showed you how to do that, or just call into our support department and they'll help you do that. Chad mentioned take out your phone. Does this mean app support? Yes. So one of the things that we will be working on very shortly, we're putting more infrastructure into QFX for app support. It's more going to be web app based. That's the way that Roomvo has developed all their technology. So if you get this, we're moving into Roomvo's into their environments and into their development tools so that not only QFloors engineers can work on this, but also Roomvo engineers. and that we can, and so we're moving all of our stuff into Roomvo tools. Is that the best way to put that? I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's accurate. And maybe I would also add that what that means is that we'll be able to develop all these capabilities that you might expect, like being able to create and view sales orders from a mobile phone.
Yeah.
And those might be in the form of an app that you download or integrated into the Roomvo CRM, for example.
Work orders, mobile work orders. We already kind of do that, but we're gonna have real-time work orders so that you can use them like that. So all of these are on our roadmap in this, this QFX kind of combined environment that we have now. So is there any option to tie profit center? That's a feature. We'll answer that on the side because of time. Are there features in high performance that will not be? No, all of the features that were currently in QFloors are in QFX Plus. So there's only additions. Also, we have some custom reports. Those will also be ported over. Good question, any custom reports that you had in Q Reporter will be ported over, and we're still using Q Reporter and QFX, but like I said, in the near future, that will be replaced with our new reporting tool that will be more robust and viable for the future. When
And
you
I
hit,
just want to
oh,
emphasize something important here, which is that QFX is everything you had in QFloors and then some. It's
yeah,
only better in we haven't taken anything away.
yep, good. Will this Monday update fix all of the other issues besides the speed issues, including crashes when we apply a payment, email issues, and the ability to open files? So there are fixes and improvements. That's a good question in this version that's coming out on Monday. The emailing from address that we knew about will be in there. The dark mode's in there. I already showed you that there are some speed improvements in here. It is the speed improvements on startup and some of the stability things that we were seeing before. We feel like we've been testing some of those with our early adopter customers. We think that we have even a better version of QFloors QFX coming out. Those upgrades will be seen in 2 weeks, not on Monday or Tuesday. So expect the speed and and maybe some of these the things that you're talking about here, those would be in 2 weeks, but more of the features would be coming out. You said crashing on payments. Not sure about that one because I haven't seen that one. We would need to, that's not one on my list. So whoever that was, I'll call you back specifically and I can take a look at that with you. We have your name logged, so don't worry, we'll come back to that. When you hit clear, will it delete the entire line now? You see on my thing on the screen right here where it says move order lines, delete. This also includes delete order lines, insert order lines. That's this feature that's showing on my screen right now. So you see where it says coming soon? It will be coming soon. So it will be added into QFX, yes. Smart search is in the material screen, not yet. It's only in the sales order screen, but you can imagine that some of these things will be moved over into other screens as we go along. Is there a print preview for the job cost report? Um, Not yet, not yet. So that one's not there yet, but you can imagine it will be coming. Will QFX be available to install on client-owned on-premise servers? Um, it's something that's been discussed and talked about, probably only viable for the biggest companies because it would cost a lot more to support that. I don't know, Pavel, I mean, it hasn't been totally ruled out yet or ruled in yet. We're more or less helping everybody that wants to get to QFX first. If there are people that have special considerations, what I've seen in the Roomvo culture, and Pavel, you might want to talk to this, but if they feel like there is a strong need and requirement that is going to help a customer be better, then then they're looking at ways to accommodate those kind of people. I've seen that, especially with the very biggest customers that we have. And so I don't know how better to answer that, but do you want to add to that, or was that the good answer, Pavel, to that?
Yeah, that's a good answer. It's certainly not off the table, but I would say that a lot of our biggest customers, they really value having this Microsoft Azure infrastructure, cloud infrastructure that we've built everything on top of. So you like again, you're getting this enterprise grade cloud infrastructure that has the cutting edge security, cutting edge speed and reliability. And so our biggest customers actually want that. And that also comes with the mobility advantages that come with that, so that you can use any device from anywhere to access your data. Um, it's not off the table, but it's something that even our biggest customers really want to be on that Microsoft enterprise grade infrastructure. So if
And
there's
being
a
it,
reason why you don't want it, I'd love to hear it and understand the needs better.
so we've got the name of the customer here, and we can call them back. Yeah.
Perfect.
Did you enhance any features when sending emails, like type in an email population and when typing a message? The lines flow, blah, 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 with, yes, that's part of the reporting thing, that what this new reporting feature, I think what they're talking about is the body of the email right now is only plain text. So being able to have an editor that would help in HTML editing capabilities and stuff like that. That's part of all this new reporting tool that we have. So it's not there yet. Let me just preface, but it's currently being worked on as we speak. I was with the developers today, and that's one of the things that they're currently working on. Will there be more options available for different types of reports? Yes, absolutely. With the new reporting tool, that's, they're going to be that we're creating the reporting tool, so we have control over it. So us being able to enhance that will be much easier in the future. Do you think that AI will include spell check in QFloors? It's not been talked about yet, but Pavel put AI capabilities right here down at the bottom. So I'm gonna quote him and say yes. I don't know.
We would be considering spell check, but we would also be considering some other capabilities that I think a lot of folks would appreciate. Like maybe you want to know how well you're doing against the averages in the industry in terms of your profitability or your closing rates or different things like that, your margins. Maybe you want some help in creating your sales order. Because it looks like the sales order you're trying to put together looks very similar to a sales order you put together before. And so you could just put it together in a fraction of the time using an AI capability as opposed to having to do it again and again. There's all these opportunities with AI suggesting things you could do to improve your profitability, improve your salespeople, save time in different places, be more efficient. I think the AI capabilities are very vast, and we want to get to them soon. There's a lot of ideas on the table there, but we do want to get through many of the other capabilities that are coming soon first, so that we can leverage what we learned there and have some extra time to develop the AI capabilities that we're thinking about.
And maybe also if I can just answer that, um, I know it's kind of hard to conceptualize here, but QFloors, the way QFloors is right now, will continually be updated and replaced as we go into the future. So they're talking about spelling features and that. Yes, if you noticed, all that kind of stuff was capable in QPro, and so those types of things will be eventually replaced and updated and what integrated into this new QFX environment as we go along. Will the leads tab on QFloors be improved, or is the plan just to improve this Roomvo CRM and create a better integration between the two? If the latter, will the new QFloors version be easier to integrate with other CRMs or only the Leap tool, only the products from Leap Tools? So if you, one of the reasons of coming into this environment and doing if you saw that, what that, this thing that you, this kind of diagram that you saw Pavel use here, well, the whole idea is this is going to become like in a product that's going to be seamless, right? Things will be shared between all of these things as if it were all the same product in one place. So the data is centralized. So we'll be able to work between all of these different products in a more unified way as if they were one product.
Yeah, and I can be more specific. I can tell you that we're planning to continue to improve the Roomvo CRM. It's constantly getting better. And the leads screen that you see, that's going to constantly get better. And that's integrated with everything that we do with the Roomvo CRM, as well as all the leads you have in QFloors. And then in terms of working with other folks that are not part of the Leap Tools umbrella, if you will, we are very open and working with other tech providers to the extent that they are willing to work with us. We've said when we joined forces that that's one thing that we are going to continue to maintain, that we're completely open. And if you think that there's a tool that does a better job for you than a tool that we offer, we are very happy to work with the other tech company to integrate that into what we do. It's just that, you know, you need two people to tango. And unfortunately, sometimes the other tech companies are not as eager to work with us as we are with them. But we are always very happy to work with everybody else, as we do.
And have done in the past. So it's
Yeah.
not like that's not just words. We have done that in the past. Both of us, both of our companies have done that. Let's see, is QPro still going to be developed, released? So we're trying to explain here the best that we can. I know it's hard to catch this in just, the hour that we have or half an hour. We are going to be moving the QPro technology piece by piece into the QFX environment. So what you'll start to see is parts of QPro coming up within the QFX environment side by side. But the advantage is they're all going to be working off the same data so that you won't have to convert from QFloors to QPro or QPro to QFloors. It's all going to be in one place. And so we thought that at this time it would be prudent to make that adjustment and to make that move by moving everything all into one place. So that's how you're going to see it. You want to add to that?
Yeah, basically, QPro features are going to end up in QFX, and you're going to get all the benefits of QPro and QFX and then some.
Yep. I think that's the best, easiest way to say it. Is there any talk of project management tool being added? Something that would provide full team access and view to ongoing project communication and updates. Have to talk to you individually about that and see what kind of your vision is. That's a pretty big question, and I think I'll probably need to talk to you about that one offline. Will there be any increased cost for having extra features? No. Nope. All of our cloud people have been moving over. And then with our on-prem customers, that's a more interesting question because there are so many different versions out there and people that have so many different products. We'll work with each of you individually on that to get you over. But for just the additional features that we're bringing over into QPro, no, there's not any additional cost there.
Just worth mentioning on the Roomvo side, some products are have a cost and some products do not. And so, like if you're using the Roomvo Assistant, the visualizer that you can just plop into your website, that's still something that you can get without cost. Our websites do come with a modest charge. So they start at $150 a month and very easy and cost efficient to set up. By the way, there's no setup fee. I'd encourage you to look into that if you're if you're interested in having a new website that's got leading metrics and generates a lot of leads. The digital ads are obviously something that we charge for. The payments that you get through QPay, those are still without extra charge beyond what your agreements have in place today. Roomvo Kiosk does come at a cost. The Roomvo CRM does not. It's available for you to use without extra cost. So I'd encourage you to look into that if that's if you're interested in that. And the sample management capabilities that the Roomvo CRM has, those are also without extra cost. The accounting consulting that we do, any kind of expertise you might need there, depending on the complexity of your issue, that does come at an extra cost.
And I think this is a good place to add in here too that this one unified system, right? We have also come up with bundled pricing to where if you are getting the website and QFloors and the CRM and all these things together, Q Tagger, all these extra products that we have, if you were to buy them all separately, it would cost you double what our new bundled price is. It's about a 50%, actually, I've heard 60% discount. So if you were to purchase all those things that he just talked about individually, it would cost twice as much as if you bundled them together. So we truly do have bundled pricing. And I would also say this, the Roomvo websites, the custom websites that they have are truly custom. I've seen them. One does not look like the other. And I know that the competitors out there are charging 2 to 3 times more just on those websites. And so, um, there's a ton of, not only do you get a discount in the bundle, but the retail price that we offer for things like websites is significantly less just to start off with. So there's a lot of value there that could be had. So if you're considering looking at getting all these things together, there is a bundled offer where you get a significant discount. What about notification center for RSAs when orders come in? So I'm again, any additional features or things like that, I'm gonna probably defer, but of course, all of these things are on the table for things that we could develop. We tried to give you a short-term roadmap of what we're looking at, but of course, many other things that we can do. Are we going to be able to have texting capabilities for installer reminders? Yes, that's coming from the CRM probably, most likely. And so those kind of things will be coming. I want to just clarify that we still have the financial piece of QFloors. Absolutely. The accounting systems are all still there. That will all still be there. What will happen with everything we already have? Everything in your doc manager is preserved. So that's part of the why we can't move everybody over at one time. All the documents that you have saved, they are all still in QFX. Good question. And this is why we're kind of limited to eight conversions a day, right? Basically is what we're doing right now. Will Measure Square be able to port documents into the document manager? Right now, we will keep doing the ones that we do bring into the document manager, which is the PDF from Measure Square. The key thing that we're looking at right now is having Measure Square read our product catalog, which was a QPro feature that we are now bringing over into QFloors. Currently, I know with our current versions, there are no longer security updates for it, i.e. the newest version of Android. So will there be new touchscreens available as upgrades? Not
In
sure.
case that question pertains to Roomvo Kiosk,
Maybe.
because he's mentioning the touch screens,
Touchscreen, yeah.
then the answer is yes. There are new touch screens available.
So there are upgrades available, right?
Yes.
For all of that. Are there any updates to the scheduler? The scheduler is still the same scheduler right now, but Pavel can verify this that we've been talking about possible solutions to the labor scheduler, and there's not just one possibility. There are many possibilities, including us rewriting and creating our own labor scheduler has been kicked around also. So it would be a Roomvo labor scheduler possibility. So at our users conference and on the cruise, this was one of the things we talked a lot about with people, and a need that we know a lot of people have, and we know that our current scheduling software is not the answer for the future. So there's many different things that we're still trying to talk around there. So how is this change affecting current QPro users? We will continue to support our current QPro users where they are right now. As the QPro features become more live in QFX, then we will give you the opportunity to move over into that environment. So eventually, yeah, the QPro people will be moving over into our QFX as we have the features that are somewhat compatible. All right, how can we tell if we have been updated or not? Um, if you're already on QFX, how do you tell if you've been updated? The updates will just come. So in the morning, uh, when you log back in, if we have updated you, when you log back in, you automatically get the updates. You don't have to do anything. There is a version number, a QFloors version number, just like before. I believe the newest one, everybody's on 10.4 right now. The newest one coming out is 10.6.2, or probably point 0.3 might be there. 10 points. So if you go up underneath the QFloors, and this is QFX or QFloors, you go up underneath help, go down to about, you'll be able to see the version number that you're on there. Any update printing if printing will work on a Mac? Thank you for bringing this up. I was just told today that our newest version that's coming out in 2 weeks, the first Mac people were able to print. So Microsoft has some bugs. Uh, it isn't a QFloors thing, it's a Microsoft thing where we were having some issues with printing from a Mac. In fact, our Mac users would have to save to a PDF, open the PDF, then print, right? So it was a two-step process. We've known about that. I hate to verify because it's only a couple of people. So as soon as I get off the phone, I'm gonna go call a few more people, but I think within 2 weeks, if I heard correctly, the first testers said that the Mac printing was now working. So good. Thank you for bringing that up. When will the email issue be resolved where customers can respond? That will be Monday and Tuesday of this next week in that version. Okay, looks great. Great, nice work. On the sell order input, will there be an individual drop-down menu for the manufacturer? All that kind of stuff is going, like I said, these features and concepts of new features, anything that I didn't mention today, absolutely, we're going to be upgrading things. Concepts of new features, we don't really have time to talk about, but I'm more than glad to talk about it outside of here. Can you elaborate on the reporting feature? Our whole Q Reporter module that you know today will completely be replaced. It will be an HTML editor in some respects, but what it exactly is, I can't tell you, but we're still working on it and conceptualizing it, but it will be replaced in the near future. So is there a dark mode? No, there is not a dark mode for desktop. It's all in QFX. Will the CCA gateway import be fixed soon? Not sure what you mean about that. I can just say this. If you're trying to import the whole CCA catalog at one time, that doesn't work. You have to do it manufacturer by manufacturer. So I don't know, but I can come back and talk to you about that later. For those who of us who are completely new to QFX, what resources will be provided to outline the new features that will be rolled out? So a couple of things when you're converting over to QFX, I personally am in the middle of making a new video to help that QFX conversion, QFloors to QFX conversion go a little bit smoother. To date, it's all been on our support department, which is clogging up our phones a little bit. So I am in the process of creating a video that will help QFloors users coming to QFX see that. We will be doing release documents and feature upgrades just like we have in the past with emails, though they will be more regular. I think you will see updates coming out more regularly than they were in the past. When you say the new reporting tool will be more robust, does that mean it will download faster? Currently, it can take hours to get a report to export to this. Yes. If you're talking about export features, yes. The whole tool will be replaced and updated. I just tell you the Q Reporter tool, all of the Q tool stuff, they are 20 years old. Okay. So this is part of what we're replacing. When we talk about replacing engines, engines and transmissions for the reporter are also being replaced, and for the document manager. And we now know the labor, anything that has to do with Q tools is on the docket to be replaced, including the scheduler. We have loved QFloors over the last 5 years and are in the early stages of adding Roomvo package. We are still desktop on our old server and use accounting through QFloors. Would you please advise we'd wait to join the Roomvo package in January when the desktop, because they're on-prem. No, I wouldn't advise that you wait. I would, if you are interested in the Roomvo packages right now, go ahead and get them. The interfaces between us are still being developed, so that's not really going to hamper you at all at this point. So you can go ahead and get the Roomvo packages, even if you're not on QFX yet. Do you understand where there's so many issues with logging into QFloors through the Windows app? When will this be a non-issue for me? Everything else comes after, and I am concerned with our experience. So he's talking about logging into QFX here. And this happens to be a user that was converted last night. And so they're new to QFX, and I'm going to call them afterwards because a lot of people aren't used to this. And so I will address that. But yes, within 2 weeks, I think you just saw that the login process is going to be different. Sorry, we may have already been discussed, but when entering a style name.
So the answer is it's still alphabetical when it lists, but now with that fuzzy search capability, you can start typing in any part of the word and it'll only show you the ones that match what you started to type, even if what you started to type isn't what the word starts with.
And if you are referring to the sales order style box, yes, in that style box and on order, then applies what he just said. If you're talking about somewhere else in the software, we would have to discuss that because I'm not sure. We are currently using QFX. We are unable to download the PDF from Measure Square into Docs since the migration. I did not know about that issue, so we will take that down and we'll get back to you. That is not one that I've heard of, that we're having a problem with that. So we will note that down. That's the Measure Square, downloading Measure Square into QFloors. Is there a projected time frame for Apple users to be able to? We just talked about that. 2 weeks, we think. Are our existing QFloors database and customizations automatically carried over? Everything in the database is carried over. I don't know which customizations that you're talking about. I'd have to talk to you individually about that.
Maybe those are private label products or inventory stock.
Anything that's in the database. The one thing that is not carried over is some of the preferences, like the column widths and which columns that you have out. Some of those things are not automatically coming over, so you have to set up a little bit about that kind of stuff. But when you're converting, the very first time you're converting to QFX, so there is a little bit of user preferences that do not come over. But anything in our database, all the data, all of that comes over. If you're concerned about one specific thing, please ask our support department. They can tell you. Is QFX still license based or our designated number of users? Is QFX still license based? Yes. I think if you're saying Can you still use the number of users that you bought? Yes, I think, if that's the question. On QFX for about a month, when reaching out for service questions, issues, wait times have changed significantly from a few minutes up to 20 minutes at times. We are located in Ontario. That is true with all of these conversions that we have going on, that the tech lines have been much slower. As you mentioned a couple of months ago, we would answer the phones within minutes. And now, it's out to 20 minutes, 30 minutes in some cases. And that is because of the conversions that are going on right now. We are working to rectify that we're adding more resources into those departments. And like I said, we're making tools like videos and stuff so that we don't have so many people calling. Right now, we have with every night when people convert, it's a little bit new. They have questions. We have documents, but people don't read those very closely. So we are answering more phone calls, and so we're trying to rectify that with um, by adding more resources into the phones in those departments, and also by making tools like videos that will help reduce the number of phone calls. So is it a permanent thing that'll be like that? No, but we ask for your patience right now with how that is. Mike is asking about OneDrive. I will answer that specifically with Mike because it pertains specifically to him. So I do have an answer for you, Mike. I'll come back and answer that. We have an on-site server with QFloors HP. So when converting to QFloors server, let's see, we have an on-site. What is the cost and what are the backup capabilities? Like I mentioned before, the people that are on-prem will be after the first of the year. And myself, or the sales department will consult because these conversions from on-prem to cloud are much different than our cloud conversions. We will consult with you specifically on what if any costs there are to do the conversions. All backup capabilities inside of there's a question about backups here. All the backup capabilities are um, automatically inside of QFX. They're done on Microsoft servers, so that's what Pawel was talking about at the first enterprise capabilities for backups and all that kind of stuff, right? So the very best, if that's what you're talking about. Will all information be stored on the cloud be available on any computer, or do we need our computers that are linked to a server computer? Oh, this is a great question that I didn't really bring up. With QFX, um, you should know there is a capability of getting into QFloors through a web browser. So if you don't have the Windows app or some of these Microsoft tools installed on your computer, like you could be on a laptop somewhere or on a tablet somewhere, you just bring up the web browser, you put in a web address, and you can get right into QFloors in a web browser. So that is a new capability that I did not really touch on. Thank you for bringing that up. So you can now access QFloors either from Windows app, which is the thing I just showed you with the connect button, or from a browser. Um, will you be able to attach visualization PDF? Okay, we just talked about that. It sounds like maybe we have a problem with that. I didn't know. I wasn't aware if we have a problem. We are
But
currently,
you should be able to do that
you
attachment.
should be able to. I didn't know that we couldn't. Yeah, there's nothing that should prevent us from having that happen. We are currently on QPro 9. What do we need to do when the change happens? It's the same. If you're on QFloors 9, if you're on your own servers, it's no different. If you're on QCloud 1 and 9, we will be contacting you within the shortly to have that happen. So that doesn't matter which version of QFloors you're on.
So over the coming weeks, we're going to be sending out all these invitations over email,
Mm.
and we're just going to be progressively continuing to move people over to QFX. And we're doing this over time so that we make sure everything goes smoothly.
Question here about the Elite package, which is the bundled package of QFloors and Roomvo. I'm just going to have somebody reach out to you on that so that there's no confusion because there's pricing involved and number of users. So if you would, let's just have somebody in our sales team reach out to you and explain that. Can you search just by the code when ordering items in for stock? Can you search? So
Maybe the question pertains to the fuzzy search, like if you can search for the style number there as opposed to the name.
it works just the same. It works just the same as it did in QFloors, I believe. So it's no different than QFloors.
And if you're referring to the screen that Chad was on earlier, where he did the search, then the answer is yes. You can
Yes,
just type in
it
the
would be this no different than
style.
how QFloors works. Also, when I double click on the style and choose the supplier, and when the product and colors are not showing up a lot of the time. Again, let's get with our support department, have them take a look. If you feel like it's something different or not the same as QFloors was working. We currently have a work ticket for Measure Square 2, not importing the PDF. If QFloors is not importing the PDF, that's more than likely on the QFloor side, not the Measure Square side. Oh, you're saying there's a ticket with QFloors for Measure Square? We will have to see. I'm not aware of the ticket. I will have to look at the ticket. Usually I have a waiting for Chad queue if we haven't been able to solve the problem. It actually is called waiting for Chad. And that one I have not seen in the waiting for Chad. And it's usually if we don't have a good answer, that's when it goes waiting for Chad. And I have not seen that issue in waiting for Chad yet. So anyway, more than like, if you feel like we're not answering that, Morgan, you can email me, chad@qprosoftware.com. Give me the ticket number, and I will take a look at that ticket personally for you. So you should have a QFloors ticket number. Just email me the ticket number and I will look at it. chad@qprosoftware.com. If you are currently QFloors on-site server version 9.16, should we update now? There is no, that is the latest update. Is it 9.167? I will say this for everybody on the call. We have an update for the Dow tile issue, product catalog issue. That update will be going out to all on-prem customers also. And that will become version 9.168 or 9. I can't remember. So that you can, all the on-prem customers can be looking for that update, as well as the QFX people will be getting that update Monday, Tuesday for Dow Tile.
Yeah, that
80
was like
questions.
80 questions. There were a lot of questions that were actually framed as comments of support and all of that, and like props for good job done and all that. So really appreciate all the support that you all have given us as well. It's very encouraging to know that you guys are happy with what we're doing and that we're going in the right direction here. And we're making a lot of big investments. So all of your support is greatly appreciated.